Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing the Breguet Classique Moonphase, the 8788BR in rose gold. 36 millimeters by 10.2 millimeters thick. This watch measures 45.4 millimeters lug to lug with an 18 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Throw this watch on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, and you can see it wears well. This is not a ladies' watch. This is a mid-sized model that could wear on any wrist with a taste for discreet traditional size and proportions. It's no more a ladies' watch than a 36 millimeter Rolex Date is a ladies' watch. This is a timepiece that is versatile, low, flat, easily fit underneath a dress cuff for formal attire. And you can see in this down the barrel shot how much space I have on each side of my wrist. And from over the top, you can see, even when I pull it tight to simulate sizing, I've got a lot of clearance here. I think you could wear this on a wrist as small as 13 centimeters circumference. Now, taking a look at the strap and the buckle, you can see the first thing that's of note is that Breguet uses screws and bars to fix these straps to the case. That is a more secure and somewhat more expensive way of building a case, and I'm glad to see it here on this massive, physically massive and expensive watch. The strap is medium brown with large rectangular scale alligator leather and a semi-gloss finish with a folded edge and a monotone stitch. You can see that there is calfskin on the underside, and this is a Breguet factory strap in excellent condition. There's a matching red gold deployant clasp. We pop this open so you can inspect, and you can see that it is internally polished and it features coining on its flanks for easier gripping, but also to mirror the coined flanks of the case, which are cold rolled and then finished by hand to create the clean coining with the boundaries between the lip of the bezel and the case back that you see here. The lugs are welded on by hand, which is old school manual case manufacture, and a wonderful artisanal throwback in the fabrication of this watch. You'll also note that the lug hoods themselves are diamond paved and that the setting continues all the way around the bezel. It is quite beautiful. The case is all of high polish and the gems twinkle. They're well graded for color, clarity, and carat weight, so the symmetry is superb all the way around. It gets better inboard. The dial is Grand Faux enamel on a white gold base, so it is a vitreous or glass-based paint that's applied manually to the dial blank and then fired up to 20 times at up to 800 degrees centigrade to create the glass-like panel that you see here. The advantage? It's bottomless, luminous. It looks wet and glossy forever. It resists oxidation and tarnish. It's effectively an ageless dial and handcrafted. You can also see that there are fired steel hands, not chemically dyed, but kiln oxidized or flame oxidized to create that blue effect. These are traditional Breguet style hands as originally used by the master Abraham Louis Breguet. Two complications on this dial. There's a moon phase up at 12 o'clock with a large crescent aperture, and then there is a power reserve indicator. And you can see it has a 38-hour power reserve, and that is indeed the reserve de marche of the watch. Note that there's a small diamond index at the quarters around the dial. Everything else features a small flourish, and then there are small stars that represent the seconds and the minutes outboard. You can also see that the seconds hand has been manually rolled on a tiny roller to fit underneath the crystal at its periphery. It is a gorgeous looking dial, and as you can see, the font used for the numerals is evocative of Breguet's own pocket watches from the 18th and 19th century. Turn it all over, and we have Breguet's twin mainspring barrel, automatic winding, 38-hour power reserve, Moonphase and power reserve, caliber 591, and you can see the caliber 591 has twin barrels for a very even torque release from max wind to minimum wind. It pivots on 25 joules, and it features refinements such as, for example, a stop seconds or hacking feature. Now rolling over to the balance, you can see that the balance is very high-tech, with recessed bolts for an aerodynamic profile to remove the parasitic losses that come with aerodynamic interference. All of the adjustments are done using the variable inertia nuts, moving them in and out to change the polar moment. You'll also note the black polished double screwed cap that holds the stud, so that's the root of the hairspring. It is free sprung for durability, and then it features a silicon anti-magnetic hairspring for resistance to magnetism. The lever and the anchor of the escapement are also created out of silicon, and they operate unlubricated to reduce parasitic losses, but also to improve isochronous activity, and ultimately precision. It is a nicely decorated movement. It beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. If you look carefully, you can see that there is mirrored beveling on the edge of the bridge. You'll also note it in the jewel and screw sinks, and you'll be able to see that all screw heads are black polished with chamfered slots in circumference, and there is Côte de Genève across the bridges with an engine-turned Grand Doge or barley corn across the gold rotor, and then there's a concentric circular brushed pattern with a sunray cap over the bearing at the middle. This timepiece is modern on the reverse side and very traditional on the dial side. It's the best of both worlds. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.